Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Bandwidth for iPad today is provided by CacheFly at CacheFly.com.
Coming up, if you must tweet, we at least want you to use the best Twitter apps available to you.
But only if you must.
Right.
Plus a touch tip for email, an iCloud workaround for the whole family, and your very own iPad robot.
All of that and a great app cap for kids on a rainy day. You're going to thank me on iPad Today.
iPad Today is brought to you by GoToMyPC from Citrix. GoToMyPC connects you directly to your Office Mac or PC from any other computer and from your iPhone and iPad too. Sign up for a 30-day free trial at GoToMyPC.com. Use the promo code iPad. And by Lantronix, maker of the Xprint server. Print from your iPad, your iPhone, or any iOS device to virtually any printer. For more information, visit xprintserver.com/twit and enter the code TWIT to receive free shipping on your order. And by the all-new Slingbox, which can turn your mobile device into a television. With the new Slingbox, you can watch high-def TV on your smartphone, laptop, or tablet anywhere there's an internet connection. Check it out at slingbox.com/twit. It's all right, it's okay.
We're going to do this show anyway.
Yes, we are. Welcome to iPad Today.
What? Well,
Ebbis, that's Ebbis. I just got back from Las Vegas.
what?
So
There
I
are
have
people
Elvis.
dancing in your shirt.
That's not people, that's the king.
Oh, it's Elvis over and over and over. Oh, that's kind of fun. It does look like something from a Vegas nightclub.
Yeah, oh my. Just back from CES. Mm-hmm. It's interesting, you know, CES was so scant this year that here we are in day 3 of CES as we record this Thursday, and already all the CES news stories, they're over. It's done. There's no more.
We certainly talked about some stuff from CES on TNT this morning because we're trying to cover as much as possible. But yes, we're running out of CES
pretty much done.
stuff. So when you say scant, you mean did the show seem smaller?
No.
Or just less to
more people,
talk about?
more booths, but not. You know that a trade show's not doing as well as it ought to, or at least it's not as technological as it ought to, when like some of the booths are massage chairs. Those big memorabilia posters with sports and tickets and autographs. Like the booths there are you see this at other trade shows that are dying. Macworld, for instance, where you get the Army has a booth, recruiting booth.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they couldn't really fill the place. And I don't think it's the fault of CES by any means. I think it's the global economic meltdown has hurt. It takes a while, but it started to hurt innovation.
It
ripples through. And I think we're also, and The Economist had a cover story this week at an innovation plateau where we're waiting for the next big thing to happen in technology. The iPad was probably the last big thing.
4K TVs.
They did that 2 years ago. 3D.
Yeah.
Next year it'll be 5X.
8K.
There were 8K sets there, actually.
No, yeah. That's the thing.
And one of the things we talked about, I did a panel with a guy from Roku, a guy from Sharp, and I asked them, I said, 4K sets, Sharp's making them. Everybody's making them, selling them. LG had some to sell. OLEDs too, beautiful
For
OLEDs.
anybody who's totally lost, 4K is like Ultra HD TVs.
That's exactly what it's called, Ultra HD. Mm-hmm. It's twice as high resolution horizontally and vertically, so it's 4 times the resolution of 2K.
But it's like awesome when the TV is big enough and you're close enough to it.
It's awesome no matter what. It's just crystal clear.
But it's not the sort of thing. I am not under the impression that I need this yet because I don't have a living room big enough to make
You don't
use
need
of
a
it.
giant. It looks great. People often think it has to be a giant set. On a 55-inch, it looks great too. And if you saw Game of Thrones in 4K, you would flip your ever-loving lid.
But do you really think that HD would start to look like standard def now does?
Yes. The same,
I don't know.
It's very much like the iPad Retina compared to a standard iPad. At first, it's like, well, that's crisper, but then pretty soon you get used to it and you really want it. Mm-hmm. So I asked, I said, but the problem, of course, is delivery because 4K is so big, it can't fit on a Blu-ray disc. You can't download it with current bandwidth limitations. Both the Roku and the Sharp guy said, compression this is not going to be an issue. There's going to be plenty of 4K content in the next few years, and Roku and everybody else is going to start delivering it. And so get ready, because I think that that's your next set is probably a 4K set. And I know you love Game of Thrones.
I do.
And imagine a show like Game of Thrones or Downton Abbey, something that's rich and textured and looks beautiful.
Sure.
Seeing it in even more detail.
Well, you know, I'd love to see Game of Thrones in 1080p, but HBO Go does not offer that functionality via the Roku.
Simply because.
So Roku could handle it.
Right, simply because it's not streaming.
That's right. It's streaming in
bandwidth.
720. So anyway, we're going crazy television. But yes, you were at CES earlier this week, but you're back for this show. Thank goodness.
I'm back, and that's the tie-in. Is that, you know, Retina displays are in effect are 4K, right? That's where you said you never thought, oh, I need a crisper display until you saw it, and then you went, wow, I don't want to deal with anything less.
Sure.
Retina.
Well, and it would be the same thing if, you know, the new iMacs had Retina displays.
If only.
They'd be so expensive, though.
They can't.
Right. I mean, at least at this point, you wouldn't sell very many of them, even if they looked awesome. You know, we've been following. You were at CES, but I was not.
Didn't miss anything, is I guess what I'm saying.
Yeah, I feel like I can cover it from afar just fine.
A little rustle
I'm
on the
sorry.
mic. It's okay. It's just an excuse for me to touch you.
Good.
And then
Touch away.
that
Wonderful.
muff fell off, so I'll just
Muff time.
take it away.
You know, every time we say we say muff, people say, you know what that means in the UK, and I go, no, it means the same thing here too. But that's what it's called.
It's a Windschutz, or a air screen.
It's a little muff.
It's a little muff.
Yeah. So hey.
It's short for muffler.
Sure. Or what's happening?
It's your microphone keeps pointing in and it's wrestling against you.
I'm sorry. That's what you were doing last week.
I know, and you didn't have the nerve to reach over and fix mine, but I do.
No, I just say, fix your mic. Fix your mic.
I don't want you to have to do it yourself.
Fix your mic.
I'd like
Here,
to
we'll do
it for
this.
you. There you go. That's better.
That's better.
Much better.
All right.
Fixed.
So I thought it had been a really long time since we'd talked about anything Twitter related on the show. And it really we've talked about Twitter apps in the past,
You
but
know what's
not
funny?
recently.
When you said, let's do Twitter apps, I thought, didn't we just do that?
No, we have not just done that.
It's amazing.
We have talked about Tweetbot, which is one of my favorite Twitter apps.
It's the one.
At length.
Right.
But, you know, we haven't talked about, I'll just go ahead and start with this, is Twitterific. Now, Twitterific has been around forever. In fact, it used to be my iPhone Twitter app of choice.
It was the go-to, absolutely.
And it made the little tweet sound, beep, 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 you know, when
love
you get a new
that.
tweet, and
Yeah.
people would sort of make fun of me, and eventually I just sort of went to Twitter's default app before I found out about Tweetbot. But Twitterific version 5, in fact, it'll come up as Twitterific 5 in the App Store for iPad, is very nice. And in fact, I guess it's because of sort of the font and the way that the tweets are displayed. It looks very sort of like Windows to me.
Oh, interesting.
It has a little bit of that Windows 8 type of a thing.
It does, doesn't it?
It does a little bit. Now, I'm looking at this on a white screen. You can choose to toggle back and forth between light and dark. I don't like dark screens. That's something that I never liked about TweetDeck, but you do have those options. These are, of course, our tweets. If I wanted to, let's see, let me get something that turns into a thread here. Some sort of a response. Gosh, of course now it's hard for me to find one. Okay, so here's a response to something. If I was like, okay, well, where's the conversation? You go ahead and swipe to the left.
That's
and then,
pretty.
Yeah, and then you get your conversation and where it started, and kind of like, hey, what's the context of this answer? That's actually the exact opposite of the way that you swipe on Tweetbot, but it's okay. If I wanted to get in on this, I go ahead and swipe to the right, and then it pulls up what my reply would be. It's very nice looking. It's very clean. Got my little profile picture here. If you're wondering, well, what does it do, as far as settings go? If you click on your account down in the settings area, we've got stuff like, a sync service. I have mine set to iCloud, sync behavior, bookmark services. You have Instapaper Pocket or Pinboard as options. You can choose a unified timeline if you have multiple accounts, because it does support multiple accounts. I have dark theme at night turned on, just sort of for the purposes of showing you guys that that's an option. I can choose to always show the sidebar in landscape mode. I don't really like that, but I could. But what it doesn't have is mute filters, and that's actually something that I love with Tweetbot. My mentions area, you've got a little bit different colored font. We've got orange for the for the mentions area, and then blue for the default. I've got my favorites over here, which is lovely. But what it doesn't have is mute filters. Now, I'll go back over to Tweetbot for a second just to remind you what those are. If I have, and this is Tweetbot. We've talked about Tweetbot quite a bit. It looks not that dissimilar. I would say Twitterific almost is a little bit cleaner looking, a little bit more slick. But mute filters are awesome. Now, if I've got a bunch of people that I wanted to mute, let's just say, for example.
As an example only.
I don't want to mute anybody,
Right.
but let's say SFist, because that's not actually a person, that's like a magazine. If for some reason SFist was just, I don't know.
Annoying.
Or just over tweeting, and maybe
Maybe they were at CES and they couldn't stop talking about it.
They were at CES, they couldn't stop talking.
They were at Le Web and they kept talking about Paris and what a good time they were having.
Oh, please. I don't do that much, do I? Sometimes somebody is tweeting about something. Yeah, they're on a vacation.
Conferences are the big one where you just get
Conferences, or there's just sort of like I need a little bit of a break from you.
Football, if you're not into football and everybody's talking about, Bama.
Right. Yeah.
So it could be temporary is the point. You could unfollow them, but this is an alternative to unfollowing.
Exactly. And mute filters, you could filter out a term, but if you wanted to filter out an account, SFist it's like an online magazine for San Francisco. I just go ahead and hit the settings area, then I say mute. I could also disable retweets. And once you say mute, it says how long? For a day, a week, a month, or forever. Now, when you say forever, you don't actually unfollow that account, which is, it's a little tricky, right? Because unfollowing maybe sends a little bit more of a message.
Right.
You could mute forever, but that doesn't mean that you can't change your mind. It just means this person isn't going to show up in your timeline anymore. If you search for them, they'll show up just the same. Nobody's getting blocked, none of that stuff. But I do find it really helpful. And it's rarely a personal thing. It's usually just because I'm like, I've got a little bit more noise coming in that I can handle this week, for example. I got to mute some people. And then I unmute them later. I really do like that about Tweetbot. And I think that Twitterific, by the way, and Tweetbot are both $2.99 in the App Store.
And worth it.
They are. And I do think that Twitterific probably has the most recent lead as far as design goes. Because, like I said, but it doesn't have mute, and I really think that's a killer feature.
I've got a client that has mute. They call it Zip It.
Really?
from the Austin Powers. Zip it. I think this is a good-looking Twitter client. It's called Tweetcaster, and it's a little different. So this is the homepage you first see, which shows you saved searches and other you could search from trends nearby, which is nice. Who to follow. These are some recommendations. These come from Twitter, obviously. But then if you go into your account, you'll see something that looks a little bit like Tapbots, but have some interesting additional features. So I'm going to click on one of the tweets here. You can reply, retweet, favorite, DM, share. So it gives you emailing or sharing via Facebook. That's kind of nice to be able to reshare a tweet.
Yeah, that is
Facebook.
kind of nice.
Here's the Zip It feature, which, oops, let's do it again.
Zip it.
Zip it. Isn't that funny? So you can zip a person, a trend, a keyword. So this I like because if for instance, it's the Super Bowl and I don't want to hear anything about how the 49ers are just killing the Texans, I would just put, that trend or a keyword, and I would filter it temporarily, and the tweets still display, but they display as a zipper on the timeline, which I love. So that's...
so you see that they've
There's
said
a tweet
something?
here, and I can unzip it if I want to, just to see what that missing tweet is, or I can zip it back up and I can unzip them. So isn't that cute? It has a zip. This also does, and I think any good Twitter client's got to do inlining, right, of images and so forth. I think this is a nice little client. There's some ads. This is an ad right here in the lower left-hand corner.
Well,
for
I'm not
Whirlpool.
crazy about that, I gotta say.
Well, it's a free app.
Yeah.
Yours were $2.
Right. Well, $3 actually.
$3. Yeah. So, I mean, what you might be able to do. Yeah, if you upgrade to Pro, you can get rid of the ads. So that's $4.99 if you don't want to get rid of that. That's an in-app purchase, the Tweetcaster.
Now, Weird Ami makes a good point. It says, the zipper will make you want to unzip them, though. That's a bad feature if you really want to ignore somebody.
Well, again, ignoring, if you really want to get rid of somebody, I would unfollow them.
Sure.
So the zipper is to say, look, because you don't want to, you want to remember that you have zipped something.
I guess that's true, because sometimes with mute, it's a little out of sight,
forget.
out of mind, and I forget that I didn't actually want to mute that person forever.
Precisely. So there's a lot of nice features. You can add a signature to all your tweets, which is handy if multiple people tweet. It enables SSL retweet confirmations. There's even information about Zip It. For instance, I think you don't have to display the zipper if you don't want to. You can turn it off. So you have kind of controls of how much zipping is going on. Anyway, Tweetcaster is a newer one that I think is worth looking at. I like the front page interface. I like how it works very easily back and forth. That's called Tweetcaster.
Now, you mentioned because it's free, it would, displaying ads is not sort of the end of the world because
Right.
you're paying for, well, you're not paying for to get rid of ads. Twitter for iPad, the official Twitter for iPad app, also free, does not have ads in that traditional sense, although
it has Twitter ads though.
Right. There's there's the whole promotional aspect of it. This is the Twitter experience that Twitter would really like you to choose. This is not a bad app. I was using this for quite a while until Tweetbot.
Not crazy about it.
You're not crazy about it.
No.
Why?
I think it's kind of feature light. And I think look how it's using the space. It doesn't use the space very well. Look at the side. Waste of space on the side.
This is the most recent version, and a lot of people have complained about that.
Yeah.
It's sort of like, it's so simplified, where is everything?
Yeah, that's why I like Tweetbot so much. It uses the space and puts in a lot of features.
Yeah, I agree with you. But something that a lot of people do like about the official Twitter app is the way that it truly is unified with Twitter for the web, Twitter for iPhone, obviously other clients as well, but if we're just staying in the iOS ecosystem, with something like the Discover tab, for example. Discover it's kind of hit and miss with me, but this is Twitter's way of saying, Sarah, based on the kind of people you follow in your community and the sorts of stories that you're active in, here's some stuff that's going on that's probably interesting to you. So I've got a Google story up top. I've got something about I guess soccer. Okay, that doesn't really apply to me, but whatever. Something from SAP, so that's interesting. People I might want to follow, who my friends are following. My friend Devin is following a certain kind of hotel chain. Okay, maybe she's going on a trip or something. Justin Timberlake is trending because he's got a new album coming out, which is kind of excited about. And who I might follow based on, hey, I'm not following Owen Brainerd. That's silly. I should totally be following him. That's a friend of mine. That's stupid. So Discover actually comes in handy. I really do like this. I use it on my iPhone more than my iPad because, again, I prefer Tweetbot on my iPad. But it's a nice Twitter app, and I think it'll give you the best experience if you use Twitter for the web a lot. Or you really like that Discover area. Or the Connect area is kind of nice too because you can either have just mentions, just what people are saying back to me based on what I've tweeted, but then also interactions so I can see who's following me. The 5 people followed me in the last 15 minutes. Oh, that's kind of cool. Who were they? Maybe there's some people that I want to follow back, like Matthew Hand, who's a media geek and the owner of Media Geeks in Bend, Oregon. Yes.
Yeah, you'd want to
You
follow.
sound like the kind of person that I would be friends with. So, great. Good stuff, and that's free.
One thing I don't like about Twitter, and most of the other Twitter clients are following along with this now, and because Twitter has told them to, is they don't show what client people are using. One of the best ways to find clients, and by the way, another reason that you might want to look at Tweetcaster, it's one of the last clients that still shows what client people used to tweet.
Now, I thought that Twitter didn't want.
They don't want people to know that.
But they can't force you to strip it out?
Apparently, they're still finding out. So I can see, now I have to click on the tweet, but I can see if I'm looking at the tweet that Doug Haslam did this via TweetDeck. That's a great way to see what people are using and what other choices are out there. In fact, if you're looking for Twitter clients, this is a really interesting way. William Shatner, for instance. What does William Shatner uses? He uses Twitter for iPhone. I love knowing that.
That's
Captain
cool.
Kirk uses Twitter for iPhone.
You do?
Yeah, now I'm going to... Okay, these are kind of like standard Twitter clients.
Sure.
I got some weird ones. Should I show you the weird ones now?
Okay.
Go ahead. If you want to do one more normal one.
No, I'm good.
These are all very, very strange.
Okay.
They're kind of purpose built. So they're more for absorbing tweets than for tweeting.
Okay.
So this is Twiz Grid. I think we've mentioned this before.
Yeah, back in the day.
Well, it's still around, and it's a grid of all the images from your Twitter feed. That's it. Not the tweets, just the images.
So if I were to tweet a few times about something and not attach an image, it just wouldn't show up in this.
There's no
This is
text.
only...
Do you see any text? There's no text.
Okay.
It's
all right.
just pictures.
Just trying to understand. Those pictures are like really beautiful, though. Is that really what your friends are tweeting?
Oh, these aren't my friends.
Oh, they're not your friends. You're looking at like the main.
I'm looking
feed.
at the main one now. I can follow my own. I can follow my own people.
Well, I certainly would
I'm kind of
hope
afraid
so.
of showing it, actually.
Well, I mean, I think that your people should behave themselves.
You're about to be on TV, my people. Okay.
Where are they?
I'll show you later.
All right.
Trickle.
You don't want to show.
This is called Trickle.
All right.
It's just a slideshow of tweets. Now, this is my feed, and it just kind of does a slideshow. You only have two functions. You can retweet or Facebook it. This is the idea of this is you'd maybe put your iPad on a stand and just have this running in the background as kind of like a ticker.
Yeah. Is it trickle spelled like it sounds?
Trickle spelled like it sounds. How about Twirble, which is like a gerbil that tweets? This one is location only, by the way, big ad, annoying, and it still thinks I'm in Las Vegas. Let me update that. But this is probably a good one because it's showing all the tweets by location from Las Vegas. So there's obviously a lot of CES and stripper tweets in there. That's called Twirble. It's a location-based Twitter client. Here's Twitter Ticker, very similar to Trickle. Actually, you should look at both of them because they basically do the same thing. The only big difference here is it has a clock. So this really is designed for being on your desktop. You tell me what this is designed for, and this is the last one. This is called Chameleon Feed. Same idea. It's a ticker. Like, get ready for this. It shows you can put anything
this
in.
one we've talked about.
We have?
Yeah.
Okay, because it does sound familiar.
It's weird, though.
Oh, yeah, you talked about it.
Yeah.
This is, I'm going to put iPad Today, so we're going to see all the tweets about iPad Today. And
I'm watching iPad Today with zero others. Aww.
Yeah, on Get Glue. And
Oh,
it's showing what's on the camera. Now, I don't understand the purpose of this at all. But I guess if you wanted to read tweets while you're walking, you could put this in front of you, and you would see where you were going and reading tweets as you see where you're going.
Or you have a window that you put the iPad in so that you look through the window.
So you put it in front of a window and it looks like you're looking out at the clouds.
Right, because the window can't have tweets in front of it without, that just wouldn't work.
It's a way of putting your tweets on a window.
It's a tweet window to see the world of birds.
A window of tweeting.
That's right. Watching iPad Today.
Okay, so that's called Chameleon Pad.
Chameleon Feed.
Because like a chameleon, it absorbs the color of the background.
Somebody just said that their kittens happen to like iPad Today. This is a good app. I need to know this stuff.
You want to see the picture? I'll go to Twiz Grid.
Yeah. Right.
So those are weird ones where they're more really not so much about you tweeting, but about, frankly, I think for most normal people, the way they use Twitter is as a news feed, right? Or a feed of something.
Now, Twirble, how do you spell that for anybody?
T-W-E-R. I didn't send her a list of this because I thought.
No, he went completely rogue just now.
Because I thought if I told her ahead of time about Twirble,
I'd say don't do that. That's dumb.
Yeah, T-W-E-R-B-I-L. Twiz Grid.
B-I-L.
B-I-L.
No wonder
just
I
like a
couldn't find
gerbil, only with a twa.
I see what you were doing there.
In front of
and
it.
Chameleon Feed. No, this is wonderful. It's just for my show notes. You know,
And
gotta add
Trickle.
this stuff to the website.
Yeah, Trickle's just like trickling. And Twitter Ticker. And we've mentioned before, but I'll mention again, and then I'll stop talking. Streamboard. I use this for like watching the Oscars and things like that. The whole idea here is that, well, you can see how long it has been since I talked about it. This was the Olympics was the filter, but you can set your own filters. And what I do like about this that the other ones seem to lack is you could say only show me users with a certain number of followers. So you can say I really only want to see the big streams, right? Only display tweets within a certain location. So if you were at CES, you could say only display tweets within 5 miles of people with more than 20,000 followers, and you'd actually, let's try CES. Let's just see what CES. You'd actually get some interesting results out of that. So these are going to all be CES tweets, and I could filter them to say, you know, let's stick. Oh, it crashed. Let's stick with people who have a lot of following, so that we don't get a lot of junk in here. Yeah, 5,000 is probably fair. So that's kind of neat. That's called Streamboard. And
That's cool.
It is a good way of, if you're following breaking news, let's say the Oscars are coming up and you just want to have this running in the background so you can see what people are saying about the Oscars, you could do that.
Well, because that's one of the things about trending topics on Twitter is that, you know, if I'm like, I don't know, I'm watching the football game on Saturday and I just really want to see what everybody else is saying, you get everything.
Right.
And a lot of that is just garbage.
I like the filtering. I like saying, you know, you got to have more than 5,000 followers if I'm going to care about your tweet.
Oh, my goodness. That's
snob.
Twitter snobbery.
How many do you have?
I have, well, you know, it's a funny story. I'm just going to say this because I was really mad about it.
You got a lot.
I don't have that many, actually. I kind of topped off, like 65,000 or something like that.
We all did.
It's sort of like, you know, if there were a bunch of bots, then maybe my numbers would grow, but it's kind of like, I think that I've, you guys are already with me.
Everybody who wants to follow Sarah already is.
Right.
Me too.
Yeah, it's okay, whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm actually not really that avid of a tweeter these days, but I do my best. This morning I woke up. What I do is my alarm goes off. I use my iPhone as my alarm, or my iPad sometimes. I roll over. I open up Twitter because I want to know if there's like, you know, a huge fire or something catastrophic happened, or that's what I do the first thing in the morning. And the first thing in the morning I see like some replies that, to me, that I don't understand, talking about like 64,000 followers and me talking about myself in the third person. Turns out a stupid service called Twitter Counter tweeted from my account at 3 a.m.
Isn't that horrible?
I've never even heard of this.
Yeah, so don't blame Sarah.
Before.
She didn't wake up in the middle of the night and start boasting about her followers.
No, and I said, like, Sarah has reached this amount of followers. You know, it sounded really stupid. And some of you were like, congratulations, which is very nice of you. I did not tweet that. So I had to delete it, and then I had to yell at the Twitter Counter people. And then I got some stupid response back like, oh, you have notifications enabled. You should disable them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible I've been to that site maybe in my life, but...
I have, because I follow very closely the number of followers you have.
Twitter Counter?
I probably signed you up for it.
Well, thanks for that. You can't sign me up to auto-tweet.
Twitter Counter was very big for a while, remember?
Well, Twitter Counter is on my you-know-what list.
Yeah.
I am not happy with them. And
nothing
from what
should be
I
allowed
hear,
to tweet on your behalf. Nothing ever.
well, especially, this is not a service I use.
Right.
I was like, Twitter
Well,
Counter, what the heck?
You gave it your credentials at some point, obviously.
I went through all of my authorized apps in Twitter. It is nowhere to be found.
Oh, no, because it's so old, it goes back to the pre-OAuth days. Twitter Counter was when Kevin and I were racing to get 5,000 followers. It's way back when.
So you're telling me
You gave it your credentials.
After, what, 5 years of not remembering that Twitter Counter existed, it tweeted for me in the middle of the night?
Yes.
Well, I don't think that's acceptable.
I might point out, it also tells me something else. That you haven't changed your Twitter password in some time. You might want to do that.
What do you mean it tells you that?
Because they have your password.
How do you know that, though?
Because they couldn't have tweeted without it.
Oh, right. I guess I should change.
As soon as you change your password, they're disabled. They're gone. They're history. But I agree. And I've had that happen on Facebook, where
Man, it
something
made me
posts on your
mad.
behalf, and immediately I delete that.
And you know,
app.
sometimes when you call out the company, you know, whoever's running their social media will get back to you and just be like, "We're so sorry about that. It wasn't intentional." It's like, yes, it was.
They built it that
You were
way.
hoping that I wouldn't complain about it and that I would just somehow be promoting your service. Uncool.
You could look. I'm looking at the CES feed. This is actually pretty good. You know, the real-time stream. Because I said people with 5,000 followers or more, it's all publications or companies, and I'm really getting a pretty good feed of what's going on at CES. That's kind of cool.
Hey, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So
Should have done this a while ago.
We talked about more Twitter apps than you could probably keep up with. So if that's the case, don't worry. I just made notes of everything that Leo talked about. Everything will be on our show notes page at twit.tv/IPT. That's where you can find all of our past episodes. You can follow along with all of the apps that we talk about in every single show, links to cool articles and stories and all of that good stuff, because some of our shows are really jam-packed. I like to think they all are, really. And that's, you can watch last week's show right from within the page, or you can subscribe to our show.
What the heck are we doing?
We were dancing, it looks like.
It looks like we're trying to read a newspaper. Oh, I was mocking how you fell asleep with your iPad.
Oh, that's right. And I'm like, I don't do that.
That's actually a great still. Whoever picked that must be our editor, right?
Yes, it's Jeff Stewart.
Jeff Stewart
our
was
esteemed editor.
having fun with us.
Yes. But yeah, that's where you can keep up with the show.
Makes me want to watch that show.
Exactly. And our subscription links are really helpful. If you're really enjoying us every week, if you want to just auto-subscribe to the show, it's totally free. We've got audio or video feed is probably a lot more helpful because it is iPad today after all. But we have audio feeds too. If you can't always watch but you'd like to listen. Thanks to everybody who watches every week, by the way. We do record the show live on Thursdays at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. It's a lot of fun. The folks that are watching us live are chatting and giving us live feedback. But if you can't watch us live, we're on demand. We make it as easy for you as possible.
I demand you watch the show.
I demand that you watch the show also. If you're not watching the show, you're
How would
doing
you know
it wrong.
I demanded it?
Well, they're just missing out on wonderful things like Twitter apps.
Rum and Coke says it looks like we were shaking our invisible etch-a-sketches.
Or Polaroid pictures.
No, you shake those like that.
You know, Polaroid's coming out with Android tablets now.
I saw that.
Weird.
Polaroid
huh?
was doing all sorts of strange things at CES.
Polaroid is kind of like, I don't know what Polaroid's doing.
Well, it's not your father's Polaroid.
No.
It's a new company. But you know what's interesting? Now, what do you think of this? Polaroid is opening little stores where you can go in and print your Instagram pictures.
Why do you need to do that? There's already services that'll send them to you in the
Because
mail.
you get them right there and then. You go into the store and you say, print my Instagram pictures, and they do. It's a little storefront. So I guess it's like 1 hour photo. You know how they used to have little kiosks with women dressed in orange and yellow?
Oh,
and they'd be
come
there
on.
and you'd get your photos printed. This is like that, only since everybody's doing digital, they just say, print your Instagram right here.
Well, how big is the print? Is it on special
I don't
paper?
know. What are you asking me for?
Well, I
It
just
can actually
wanna
be
know.
any digital, and it can be on canvas and things like that, or like metal.
Okay. So
Sorry.
it's basically
Do you
just
hear a voice?
That's Chad. Chad has hair the color of my pants.
No. Yes.
It's true, actually.
Yes.
Chad, do you have a camera on yourself?
Her pants, for those of you
really.
listening, her pants are tomato color.
My pants are very red, and so is Chad's head.
Here we go.
There he is. See?
They do. They match exactly.
He's actually brighter than my pants. You know, it's hard to do, but he's done it.
I love it when Chad comes in on this show and it's just like the voice out of nowhere.
Right, and people are like, "What? Who is that?"
I love that. I just love that. It's so cool. I wanted on the screensavers. I wanted to have that.
Oh, Leo.
The voice of God. Remember
Well-
those? Remember the screensavers?
Yes.
Remember them?
We had the God box on the screensavers.
We didn't use it enough.
Well, we didn't use it on the show. We
Paul
used it.
Block,
We used it when we had to.
our executive producer, would say things like, "Get back in your place. The commercial's almost over. I'm playing Halo. Do you mind?" Remember we used to play Halo on the set? Remember
I didn't play a lot of Halo.
that? Kevin, me,
Yes, it was
Fufu,
the LAN party days.
David Prager.
Yeah. Just read something. All right.
The show brought to you by our friends at Citrix. You know, we've been with them since the Screensavers days, went back with Expert City. Citrix makes a great product called GoToMyPC. These are the guys who know remote access. And GoToMyPC lets you connect to your office Mac or PC from
Sorry.
any computer.
I was just adjusting my audio.
Oh, that's right next to me.
Yeah.
I saw Sarah lean in, and I thought she wanted a kiss.
I wanted it. Yeah,
But no.
No.
She was just setting her headphone volume.
I just wanted to hear you better. All the better to hear you with, my dear.
Every year, many of us make that resolution to spend more time with friends or family, to spend less time at work. Was that your resolution this year? Maybe you said, I want to work smarter, work better, work more productively. This is the tool you need. GoToMyPC from Citrix. You go right now. If you're at work right now, go ahead, put it on your Office PC or Mac. Then download the iPad app, the iPhone app. And you can use it on a PC, on a laptop too. And you can securely access your network. You can work on any program. You can save or edit any file. This, by the way, is a great way to surf safely. It also is a great way to run Flash on your iPad. You can actually use GoToMyPC on your iPad to go to your office computer where Flash is installed and watch a Flash video. That's how good it is. GoToMyPC frees you from your office, allowing you to be more productive, more efficient. You can work from home, on the go, anywhere. I want you to try it free for 30 days. Visit GoToMyPC.com, and every page you see has that orange Try It Free button. If you click that, you can try it free for 30 days, but please do use the promo code iPad so that we get credit. 30 days free. GoToMyPC, offer code iPad. And
Thanks, GoToMyPC and Citrix. You guys are the best.
you know what's fun about this? Just
What?
going back to it. If you go to the filter and you change the follower setting, it'll actually show more or less tweets. So you see
Oh, cool.
what you're gaining or losing. So you can really kind of adjust this just right. You say, that's just about right. That's how many. That's the tweets I want to see. Howard Stern show just tweeted, showing off his favorite gadgets.
From CES?
Yeah.
I didn't realize Howard Stern was going to cover CES.
Probably it's, Baba Louie or somebody. Baba Booey.
I don't really listen to the show, but anyway, it doesn't matter.
Here's one in French. Et puis c'est quoi ces profs que m'y gardent après le cours pour me dire. I don't know what he's saying. It doesn't seem to have CES in it. Oh, maybe that is. It's CES as in the French say.
Say.
See, I should put hashtag CES.
Or quotes or something.
Yeah.
Did you know that more than 40 billion apps have been downloaded from the App Store?
Did you say billion with a B?
I did.
40 billion?
That's correct, Leo. That's something that Apple announced a couple of days ago. 40 billion apps have been downloaded from the App Store for the iPhone and the iPad. So this is.
Well, it's hard to make a distinction.
Sure, but it's it's not. Well, some apps are just iPad apps, for example. So this is both. More than 7 billion in payments have been paid out to developers.
$7 billion.
7 billion.
Wow.
Now, 36 billion Apple made in the fourth quarter of last year. So if you put that in perspective, 7 billion overall.
4 or 5 years.
Right.
Yeah.
36 billion in just a single quarter of 4 in a year is a very small fraction of what Apple is keeping for itself, but that's still very promising.
The worst stat is that most of that $7 billion paid out to app developers went to just a handful of the biggest developers.
Right, right.
So people go, oh my gosh, I could make a lot of money making an app, $7 billion, but really only the top 10% gets.
In fact,
money.
a good indicator is sort of like who hovers in the top, let's say, 20 of the paid apps. Most of those developers are getting all the money.
You know who's the #1 grossing app on the iPad? Clayton Morris.
Really?
Yes.
For Read Quick?
Read Quick. And by the way, thanks for sandbagging me. So I run into Clayton Morris at CES, and he actually hits me in the chin, and he said, "You didn't like my app."
Read Quick. Quick Read.
Quick Read.
Quick Read. So,
I said, last well, maybe it's because I said, Clayton, I want my $1.99 back.
Hold on a second. For anybody who didn't watch last week or is like, what are they talking about? I showed off the reading app that showed you one word at a time so that you can sort of speed read through stuff, and Leo panned it. He was like, that's so stupid. I did not realize that our friend and fellow tech nerd Clayton Morris
of Fox and Friends,
it was Natalie Morris's husband from
created it.
He made it. I actually did know that.
See, she sandbagged me.
I had completely just spaced it. I didn't leave out his name on purpose.
Had you said that, I might not have been so negative about it.
Well, and
at
now
least I was honest.
Now we know that you have very strong opinions. But yeah, I felt terrible because I thought, oh man, regardless of what you thought, I didn't mean to not give him credit.
Yeah, so just a point that is Clayton Morris's app, and it is doing very well. I don't know if it still is, but it was the top grossing app on the iPad.
Top grossing of all time? No.
No. Just at you know how they have the charts.
Okay, that's what confused me because I was like, Angry Birds has to be top grossing of all time.
Yeah. But he's obviously making some money on the thing.
Well, I hope part of it has to do with the fact that I talked about it.
I think it has to.
I hope so.
And it has to do with the fact that I said I didn't like it.
Probably because people said, Leo, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Buy this app.
In my own defense, the subject of the show was news reading apps.
Correct.
And I was merely pointing out that if I'm going to read the news, I want to read the freaking news, not one word at a time.
But no.
His app is really more of a speed reading trainer.
But you can speed read the news.
Yeah, I mean, what you're reading is the news. I have to read so many news
stories every day for TNT, right?
But is it faster to read it that way than it is on Pocket?
If you train yourself and it ends up working for you, What's wrong with that? What's wrong with...
Nothing.
Remember, last week I said, you think outside the box, and you said, I like my box. And I said, that's fine. It's your prerogative to sit in your little box.
I've learned
and forget that there's a big, big world out there.
So, Clayton, congratulations on the success of Read Quick.
Absolutely.
Really glad that it's done well. It is no longer the top grossing But for a day or two, it was on the top there, which is really really great. And the thing to emphasize is it came out of Clayton's interest in speed reading, and it really is about training you to read faster.
You know, of those 40 billion apps I said had been downloaded to date in the App Store, almost half of them happened this year.
Really?
Yes. Now, of course, a lot of that has to do with the fact that just more people have iPads and iPhones.
Wow.
But that's kind of an interesting statistic.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Almost 20 billion of those 40 billion happened in 2012.
Wow.
I know.
Wow.
We're on the up and up.
It just
Don't
shows
believe
you.
Anybody who says Apple's dead.
Yeah, because the other thing you might
that's a
do
stupid
is
thing
you
to
might
say.
say, well, how many iOS devices are there in the world? What is it, 100 million? I think so.
I don't
it's
have
100
that
million.
number
And
handy.
you said how many billions of apps have been downloaded?
40.
40. And do some math, will you? There's 100 million. So that would be 1/10 of a billion. So that would mean there would be how many?
A lot.
That's 400 apps per iOS device. That can't be right.
I don't think I think that was fuzzy math. I don't think that's right.
Okay, there's 365 million. Let's say for purposes of math, there's 400 million iOS devices. Let's just
Round
say
it up.
400 million iOS devices. That still means that there's 100 apps per person. Really? That they've downloaded. I guess you and I have accounted for most of that because we download a lot more apps than the average Joe.
Yes, but that's those. There are not that many of us. More people have like 40 apps.
Right. So that's why this number sounds large to me.
I don't know. That's a good question. I'm not sure why.
They call it critical thinking.
Well.
And apparently too few do it nowadays.
You should always. What is it? Believe nothing you read and only half of what you see.
And read nothing that you
Apple,
see.
I call BS. I call
Well,
foul.
I don't know. I believe them, but I just don't. That seems like an awful lot of apps per person.
It does, but I don't know. Maybe there's something they're not telling us. I don't know. You know what is actually really scary? Did you read the story about how Personal Audio LLC, also known as a patent troll, is suing Adam Carolla's podcast network? What?
I don't want the word to get out.
Why?
They're doing one of these classic lawsuits where you do it in East Texas, which people choose because the kind of rumor is that juries in East Texas are very favorable to patent lawsuits. But they claim a patent on how podcasts work.
Right.
And Adam Carolla, as one of he claims the largest podcast. I don't know if that's true, but
on iTunes.
he says he has more downloads than anybody else. And so obviously they went after the big one. I'm glad I never said that. We're tiny.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Tiny.
No, I mean, there's
No,
no money,
when I
there's
read
no money
that,
to take.
I read that this morning about 3 a.m. Couldn't get back to sleep.
Really?
Well, I'm terrified.
You are?
Well,
they also are suing How Stuff Works. So
I mean,
I don't know. Like,
I can't defend. What am I
going
going to go to East Texas and defend us?
Well, nothing's happening to us. I just think
I'm
it's
just waiting
interesting. The reason I brought it up.
That's
is
why
just
I don't like
because-
podcast. But they claim a patent on not the word podcasting, but on the way podcasts work, on the ability to subscribe to a show and get it.
Well, that's crazy. I mean, come on.
Oh, it's clearly crazy, and I'm hoping the court throws it out.
I am
But
too.
even if the court doesn't accept their claim, you still have to defend it. You have to hire lawyers, go to East Texas, and defend yourself. I don't want to have to do that. That's why.
iPad Today,
Tiny.
Texas
Tiny.
edition.
Yeah, for the next 6 years.
Well,
we
I'll
might
go to
be.
Marfa. Well, that's
Isn't
in
that
Western
horrible?
Texas.
That's really. I mean, this is what's so wrong with this patent situation. You should be able to patent the notion of downloading shows to listen to later.
Well, yeah, I mean, how many thousands of people,
You know when
this
they
is
got the
our
patent?
livelihood.
2009.
Yeah. What the heck? How's that work? So if you enjoy podcasts like this one,
I hope that.
I hope that you are paying attention to this.
Well, and I do hope that Adam Carolla
Hootenanny.
and How Stuff Works, How Things Work, have a patent defense fund, and I'm certainly going to go look and contribute to it. And I suspect that if they sue a few more podcasters, we'll just all band together
And take them down.
Try to take 'em
Yeah, Adam Carolla.
don't give in, Adam.
Looking at you.
Fight the fight, Adam.
Yeah.
We're with you.
Stick it.
Power to the podcasters.
Power to the podcasters. We got a duh tip from Terrence and Alicia in Silver Spring, Maryland. This is a good one. I've actually seen this before, but I don't think we've ever talked about it on the show before. If you are in the native mail app on your iPad, when you're viewing your inbox and you want to compose something, if you press and hold the Compose New Message button, so you don't just tap it, you press and hold, not only will it bring up a new window that'll allow you to create a new message, but it also shows existing drafts. That's kind of cool, because sometimes I do get like halfway through a message, and it's a draft that I hadn't sent, and I can go find it in other ways. You know, I got to go back.
Did we do that yesterday, last episode?
Did we?
Or maybe you told me about it.
I might have told you. I don't think I've talked about it on the show. And
okay, good.
Correct me if I'm wrong. It might have been.
It's very cool.
It might have been off of the show.
It was in the chat room. We played with it after the show.
Yeah, I think that's
what
it was.
And you saved it for this.
Yeah, exactly. So this was the draft actually that I had sent. Gosh, it looked like I was about to try to reserve a room down in Bordeaux. So that would have been over the summer. Wow, this is the draft that I really don't need anymore. But it's just kind of a cool little tip, you know. So again, press and hold. You can either go new message or any drafts that you have that's kind of waiting for you to get back to, or at least just delete out of there. So that's a good tip. Thanks to Terrence and Alicia. We also got a tip from Tom in Sarasota, Florida, who says, Sarah and Leo, don't forget to take your iPad off your car before work.
Oh, no.
And there's a couple pictures of the aftermath of that. Oh, dear, look at that one. That's not good. So it's like, it was like he left his coffee up on the roof, but it was his iPad. And, I mean, I don't think I've ever seen anything quite so banged up. I mean, how many times did it fall?
Oh, my.
It looks like it had been, like, riddled with bullets. Good grief. Leo, are you looking at this? No, you're not.
Yeah. I'm totally looking at that.
Well, I mean, I guess it's just gravel or something. It must have hit the gravel pretty hard.
I think they drove over it, don't you?
Well, but if you leave it on your car, it usually falls behind you, not in front of you.
Well, yeah, it was dirt and gravel, so I get dirt and... Oh, my God! That's terrible.
Isn't that
They
sad?
must have driven off of it. Somebody drove. You know what?
Isn't that the saddest
They
thing
were
you
on the
ever saw?
highway. It fell off the car on the highway, and 80 cars went over it,
someone else
over and
hit
over
it.
and over.
Yeah. Well, I have to say, if you got all the way to the freeway with your iPad not falling off your car, I'm kind of impressed. It's almost like there's some silver lining here.
So he's in the chat room, Highledge Gage, your Highledge guard, and he says his neighbor brought it back because his name was on it. And he said it was with a sticker, and he says it was on the highway.
Oh my gosh. Holy crap. Well, that's terrible.
Wow.
I hate to see that. I'm so sorry, Tom, or Heiligwak in our chat room.
He got a replacement.
Good. I'm glad.
Wow.
Did Apple just give you another one?
I doubt it.
On top of the car? That wasn't your fault. I doubt
Wow.
it. Hey, we have an iPad Star of the Week, Leo, and I think you're really going to love Mandy the kitty because she loves you.
Oh, I love you, Mandy the kitty. I think she likes my scarf.
She does. She thought that you were, yeah, she's really getting into it now.
Wow.
Hey, Leo.
Oh.
Hello. Rub my tummy. You look happy. You look like you're like...
I love the smell of a cat armpit every day.
Good pits, those felines.
Well, you know, they're very clean.
Yes, it's true. It's true.
Horrible.
That's Mandy. Thank you to Wanda. That's Mandy's human who sent in the cute picture. It made my day. Thank you.
You're going to be a cat lady.
I am already a cat lady. I am proud of it. I no longer care how I am perceived.
How many cats would you like to have? Now, how many do you only have a couple?
I have 2, and that's plenty.
And how many? None. You're not really a cat lady.
Well, I wear cat print pajamas sometimes.
You really? What does that mean?
I volunteer at the SPCA.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, because I can't take that. You know, I can. It's not realistic for me to have more than a couple of cats, but I want to help as many as possible.
That's really, you are
But that's
a cat
neither
lady.
here nor there when we're talking about iPads. Although I have some great cat-related apps that maybe we could talk about next week.
We got that cat game.
Game for cats.
We got it.
My cats didn't think much of it, actually.
Really?
Yeah, they just didn't love
it.
it.
was Chad's cat that liked it so much.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, our show today brought to you by Lantronics.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, we talked about that Xprint server before. In fact, remember we got the email from the IT director at the school who had for years had problems getting all the different disparate printers working, and she bought this Lantronics Xprint server. Boom, no configuration, nothing. It just works. Let me print something. I'm just going to print this article right here. Press print. Now, if you have a a certain brand of printer or whatever, it's gonna. Oh look at that! I got all these auto. Did you see that? Auto discovered.
Oh, cool.
I think that's the printer on your desk.
Well, it's right behind you right now.
Oh, there it is.
We decided to roll it over.
Wow, it disappeared.
But usually that's on my desk. Yes.
So if you have a USB printer, of course you can't print over a network. But even if you have, a HP, I think it builds this in, but you have to get apps or stuff. Not with the Lantronix X-Print server. Watch, I'm just going to print. Boom, boom, and it's contacting the printer. All of this thanks to this little tiny box, the X-Print server. If you're at home or at the office, printing for the iPad or the iPhone has always been a little tricky.
You can see it.
This is not an AirPrint compatible printer. This is just a normal printer on the network, but the X-Print server found it and automatically configured it. It supports more than 4,000 of the top brand network printers. But I love it also if you have a USB printer. And you just, how are you going to get that on the network? You just plug it into this and it works. In fact, the Home Edition supports 8 USB printers. And up to 2 network printers, that's $99. If you're in a big school or a business where you have lots of printers, the Office Edition, $199, and it supports up to 8 USB and unlimited network printers. That is pretty amazing. Look at that. Just, oh
there
my
you go.
God, well, I'm printing it on cardstock.
Oh, why do I have that in there?
No, that was me.
Oh, that was Chad.
Were you printing something?
Yeah.
Well, it's good because I want to save this. Our podcaster is going to get sued by Jeffrey Powers of the Daily Geek.
Well, I hope not.
I might frame that.
Okay.
So now I have another high quality. Oh no, this is regular paper coming in.
Yeah, he just had he was working on some sort of a project.
Sorry, Chad. I just used your cardstock.
It's okay. I think he'll be all right. Yeah, so there you go. That's so easy.
Isn't that neat?
Yeah, because the thing is that's a very nice printer, but I can't print from my iPad otherwise.
No,
and that's very
sometimes you
unhelpful.
can. There's apps we've talked about. They don't work. You have to download them. This is just
Exactly.
very straightforward. You're gonna love it. We've got a special offer if you use first go to xprintserver.com/twit, and then use the offer code TWIT. You'll get free shipping on your order, and you'll get it quick too. We've sold a lot of these to people who have written to us and said, this thing really works. I had a guy call a radio show. He said, I'm mad. I didn't have to configure it. I didn't have to download drivers. I didn't have to do anything. I thought I was going to have to put some work in on this.
Yeah.
And boom, it just worked right out of the box.
You plug and print.
It's plug and print.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
xprintserver.com/twit. And we thank them for their support of iPad today. Use
We
the offer code
sure do.
Yeah.
Speaking of game for cats.
Oh, no.
See? Oh, there's a cat that likes it. Hey. No, see this. I almost think that the game for cats is almost. Well, you know what? I'm gonna stop because I'm getting into like feline behavior now, and it's just gonna get weird. What is also a little bit weird.
Yes.
Chris Sellers emailed us and said, "Have you guys seen this? It's the coolest thing ever done with an iPad."
Okay.
And then he linked me over to doublerobotics.com, and I thought, that's quite a claim.
Pretty high bar to,
Pretty big claim here. Double Robotics. There's a video on this site.
Okay.
It shows you that what you do is you drop your iPad onto this robot that will then have you watching virtually.
Telepresence. Yeah.
But almost like you're right there.
Sheldon would love this.
When you're physically not anywhere near your coworkers or your family or whatever.
I saw a company had this at CES. Not this one, another one.
Really?
Yeah.
So Double Robotics is not the only company. Look at this. Here I'm gonna go into the lab now and see what John's working on.
We should get Tom Merritt one of these, and then he could do TNT. He could just stand there and just do it.
Well, it's not some. I don't think the audience cares so much about it. It's just being able to see. But you can.
You can even choose ones in different parts of the country, of the world, and
this is showing how if like
a museum,
for example, you could go look at stuff.
Now these look like little
and
segways.
you control it virtually. So it's like if you want to tilt up or down or turn left or right. I mean, you're actually controlling it from wherever you are. Now, to me, okay, all right, this is a kind of fun idea, but it does look a little bit. I mean, can you imagine? You'd be like, oh, I'm trying to I'm not at the office today, and I'm trying to get into the
I'll get you one of these,
into
and
the
you can stay
conference
home.
room, and I keep hitting a corner. I'm not there, and
It looks
hey,
like
can
it's
someone,
it's
can
a two.
someone help my robot? That's kind of what I feel like would be happening.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it in action. I've only seen this video.
They're $15,000.
They're not that much. No.
No?
No, it's like I think it was like 3,000.
They look like
yeah,
Segways.
2,000.
We should get one.
$19.99.
New orders. Hey, let's order. I gotta get one. I gotta
Do?
get one. Yeah.
Do?
Yeah, because then
Okay.
I could be here even if I'm not.
Well, then we would certainly know if they're awesome.
I'm gonna order one. I gotta see that. I didn't know that was real. I thought it was like a demo of a Kickstarter. They're actually selling them. What's it called? Double Robotics?
DoubleRobotics.com. Yeah.
Ordering
All right.
now.
We apparently are buying an iPad robot today.
Well, it's only
Okay.
$2,000.
Oh, only $2,000. If that's the way you feel, maybe I could have gotten a bigger Christmas bonus.
No, because this is
Research
for the show.
for the show. So are bonuses.
What?
It's for the
yeah,
good of the
that's
show.
true. All right, I'll give you a bigger bonus. Here, you want one of these?
No.
You should use this, then you wouldn't have to come to work. Doubles. What? This? I can't. These look like Segways. They're two-wheelers.
I
They
know
must
that.
have- they're very sophisticated.
That part of it is kind of neat. It looks like it should topple over, and yet it doesn't. I don't get it. I don't know what's happening. Chris, thank you so much, because now Leo bought himself an iPad robot. So he apparently agrees with you that it's the coolest thing ever.
It's cheaper than a Segway. Oh, pre-order. Pre-order.
Yeah, but
now.
they said shipping in early 2013. So
How will you use it? On TV. That'll help. That'll help us get one. Only costs $0. So that's good to pre-order.
oh good, oh good. All right, we did get another. Actually, okay. So this is in.
I want this.
I know you do. All
I'm
right,
getting it.
While Leo buys his Double Robotics robot,
Welcome to the future.
they're down in San Jose, or they have a 408 area code. So
They
they're-
should
they're
come
in Silicon
and
Valley
they
somewhere.
should bring it here, and we'd have it by the end of the show.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah.
Well, at our rate, maybe it would take almost
Exactly.
2 hours.
My point precisely.
Got a bunch of emails and a couple of voicemails from folks in reference to last week when you, Leo, said that PhotoStream doesn't work because you've got members of your family that are all on the same account so that you don't have to redo apps.
know what they're gonna say.
And they said,
I'm not stupid.
hold everything. If you are in the situation, the workaround is you have a separate iCloud login.
I know.
Well, if you know that, maybe some
I
of you
do,
are a
in
little
fact,
bit
do
confused.
that. I have a separate iCloud login as
Okay.
well. You know, you have an iTunes Store login and
Yes.
an iCloud login.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. This was Ken from Youngstown, Ohio said, I want everybody to be able to get my apps without paying again, but I want my privacy with my
Right.
iCloud account or being tracked on my iPad. So you use the same iTunes Store account ID for everybody in the house, but then your own iTunes account just for iCloud. So that's your own contacts and calendars and notes and PhotoStream, iCloud stuff. You just go into settings, iTunes, App Stores, log in with the one that everyone's using
Now
together.
I have 2 iTunes accounts.
And then settings, iCloud.
2
but,
Apple
But so
accounts.
why, if that is the case?
No, I do. That's how I do it.
Oh. Well, so why did you say?
You shouldn't have to do that.
Well, that's true. I think everyone's in
And
agreement
Apple
that
doesn't
that's
explain that
cumbersome.
to you. And when you do the initial setup on an iPad, it doesn't ask you what's the store account and what's your iCloud account. It asks you for one thing. You have to go back and retro fit the account. So I think what happens is I know that, but I think what happens is people when they set up their iPad, they put in their account, they're done. And
then it feels very
then
limiting.
they get very surprised when their photo stream is appearing on other iPads.
Sure. Ashley had wrote in and said, another thing to consider is FaceTime because you're using.
That's another one.
an
We've
Apple-
talked about that before.
Yeah, so those are the sorts of things you just want to think about. You do have options. You can share an account that you are buying apps with multiple devices, but those multiple devices don't have to share everything because iCloud will let you separate things, but it is cumbersome,
Right.
isn't it? It is cumbersome,
Yes.
that's for sure.
Yes.
So
I didn't mean to imply that I didn't know about the workaround, but I just think it's a workaround. It's not.
Well,
the
I didn't
opposite.
really ask you about it either. I just sort of let you go on a rampage about PhotoStream and privacy, and I just sort of went, whatever.
You're so boring, Leo.
Yeah,
Just-
I mean, you just bought an iPad
get
robot for
over it.
$2,000. I don't know why you can't download the same app a couple times. but whatever.
I can't wait. Well, and I hope, well, we'll review it before you buy it. I hope it works. I mean, I think that price for Telepresence is pretty low. If it does what it says it's going to do.
Yeah, no, it's very cool. It seems very cool.
Don't forget, you need 2 iPads. Right, one on the robot and then one.
Oh
at home.
yeah. Well, I think it'll.
Website, you could use it on the web.
Yeah, I think the software works with. It's not just iPads. I mean, it could be another tablet. I believe.
I leave my iPad here, so I'm going to leave it instead of here on my desk. I'm going to leave it here in the robot, and then I can wander the floor.
There you go.
I think it's going to be great.
It'd be like Big Brother all the time.
I'm going to drive you guys crazy.
You could sort of somehow hook it up with our little, our little spy cams that are around here too. You could have like the roving cam, switch to it every so often. That's kind of fun.
So you'll see
through
when
Leo's
this comes,
eyes.
and you just see this little thing wander through that's Leo.
Yeah.
He's home, but he's here.
But he's here.
Always.
He's always watching.
I like this. Somebody said make a show for the robot. I will have a show. The Leo Robot Show.
That really rolls off the tongue. The Leo Robot Show. You had one of these ideas for the Android show, remember?
I know. I wish we'd made that. That would have been good.
Well, the Android show, All About Android, which is another
show.
very good show on our network.
Featuring Gina Trapani.
And Jason Howe and Ron Richards and friends. Yeah, it's a great show. Even though they're the Android show, we're all good friends.
Yeah, no, we throw tomatoes and stuff at them while they're doing the show. We laugh, we mock them, we hold up the iPhone and go, ha, ha, ha.
We say, you're a little green robot. And then they say, look at this really awesome new Samsung phone. And we go, it's pretty nice.
I'm going to buy that, is what I say.
I'm going to buy that. I'm going to buy this Polaroid Android tablet. Pam Peeman from Brisbane, Australia, wrote in and said, I was thinking about how Sarah said that she preferred the larger iPad and that Leo was preferring the iPad mini these days, as I do. Maybe, Pam does not say how old she is, but Pam says, maybe as we get older, our eyesight isn't as brilliant and we don't notice the difference in the screens. I used to lie in bed reading on my iPad 3 and it was so heavy, it was so hot. The mini's fantastic. It's light, the battery lasts for hours. I still use my full-size iPad during the day, but the mini is now my favorite, and it fits in my shoulder bag. Love the show.
I noticed it.
So maybe that's part of the thing. Your older eyes don't actually appreciate the Retina display at all. Is that possible?
I have complained that the only thing wrong with the iPad mini is the lack of a Retina display. I do notice that difference. It's not as bad as I thought. And a lot of games and stuff, the kinds of stuff I do, like Simpsons Tapped Out, looks fine on an iPad mini. Actually, you know what? The mini, here's an interesting thing. The mini is faster to play Simpsons Tapped Out than iPad 3 with the Retina display because the Retina display is actually slow. You know, because it's pushing so, So, and this is a game that has a lot of players walking around and things going on. It's very CPU intensive, and it really bogs down the iPad 3. Now, the new iPad, the iPad 4 probably is fine, but on the iPad 3, this is actually much slower than on the Mini, where it's not a faster processor. In fact, it's a slower processor on the Mini, but it's only 1024 by 768. So it's much less laggy than it is on the iPad. Isn't that interesting?
That is interesting. I'm with you. There's nothing wrong with the Mini to me besides the lack of Retina.
You want a bigger screen.
Yeah, that's if I have to just.
So if I do a lot of things on here and have a lot of people walking around, it just starts hesitating as you try to scroll it around. In fact, I'm already feeling a little bit of sluggishness and lack of response, but I can make it even worse by, tapping more things.
You really like this game.
Oh, I love this game. It's just an excuse for me, really. See, I stopped it. Oh, no, that's just, that's normal. It happens all the time.
Oh, Simpsons Tapped Out.
You would think Electronic Arts would know how to run a network server. Apparently not.
Apparently not. EA, get on top of it. Hey, we love hearing from you. We try to feature as many of your questions and comments and feedback in every show as possible. You have a few different ways that you can get a hold of us. iPadAday@twit.tv is our email address. 757-504-IPAD or 4723 is our Google voicemail box. Try to keep them succinct. 30 seconds or less is kind of a sweet spot for playing voicemails. Or for extra points, you can send us a video, upload it somewhere, and send us the link, and we will play it on a future show.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
I'm going to get my app cap ready because.
Don your hat.
Yeah. I will.
Does it have to do with those things?
Yes, it does.
Just checking.
Stop. No spoilers.
No spoilers, but I am going to spoil you if you like to watch TV, you need a Slingbox so you can watch your TV on your iPad anywhere you go. Not just your iPad, your iPhone, your Android device, your laptop, your notebook. It is really fantastic. Slingbox. In fact, the new Slingboxes, they're beautiful, like the Slingbox 500. Go to slingbox.com/twit. You can learn more about it. HD television over the internet from your home theater system. So whatever you can watch at home, football, sports, the Oscars, whatever you can watch at home on your DVR, your satellite dish. Yes, your DVR. You can actually control your DVR, play back with things you've recorded, set new recordings on your cable box, on your DVD or Blu-ray player. You just hook it all up to the Slingbox, hook up the Slingbox to the internet, and your television, your home theater system is on the internet. HDMI connectivity, full 1080p HD, built-in Wi-Fi. This new Slingbox is amazing. And then get the Slingbox player for the iPhone, the iPad, and all of a sudden you can watch and enjoy. Notice, by the way, half price. They've dropped the price on the Sling players for the iPad. It's only $15 now. Really, really great. Visit slingbox.com/twit to find out more. The big game's coming up. The Oscars are coming up. The Oscar nominations were today.
Golden Globes on Sunday.
Golden Globes. This is the time when you want that live TV, and it's so great to have it on your iPad to be able to watch wherever you are. Slingbox.com/twit. Are you big into the Golden Globes?
Oh, yes, I am,
That's the
Leo.
award season beginning.
Oh, that's where all of the stars get drunk.
Oh, really?
They sit around the tables. Yeah, it's a much more informal.
So that's when, Sunday?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to watch.
Oh, you gotta watch
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
That's
hey, you might be
exciting.
wondering why all of a sudden Leo and I are wearing ridiculous hats.
Why?
Why? Because it's the AppCap Awards time.
It's because we were drunk.
No, not today. That was last week and the week before. And I think the week before that, if memory serves. And it never serves very well when you're drinking.
I just was checking. We're doing a control study. This is the alcohol-free iPad today. It's not nearly as good.
No, this has actually been a dud of a show so far. But I'm hoping to turn that around because I have a really, really, really good app cap this week. My app cap, by the way, the app cap is an app that Leo and I both choose once a week. That's just awesome. And we want to share it with you. And it could be about anything. But we're kind of vouching for it. My app this week is called Foldify. Now, somebody, John Gabriel, on Twitter was the one that turned me on to Foldify. I didn't find it in the App Store or anything, so thank you, John Gabriel. Foldify is really fun because what you do is you create basically a 3D model on your iPad. This is actually something...
Oh, that's cool!
Isn't that neat? Isn't that neat? And you see where I'm going with this, right? Why do you think that printer's behind you? Yeah.
And that's why the cardstock was in the printer.
That's right. That's
Right.
right. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. But so this is actually not something that I created because this is really good. But this is something that I could hack up. This is one of the templates that they give me. So if I wanted to say, let's draw a little squiggly thing, on his face, you can see where it's going to show up once the creation is folded. If I wanted to start from scratch, I click on the little cube in the upper left-hand corner. This is actually something that I made earlier today. It's sort of just a little, I don't know, it's a cube face. And I've got a little face here. I've got some, I added a little X, some patterns. I have a little apple. If you click the little face, you have they almost look like little emojis for your creation. So you can make faces, there's hands, eyeglasses, maybe like features that you would have on a car or a house. We've got fruit here and leaves and patterns. So it's not totally fully featured, but you can get pretty creative. And what I had mentioned...
Well, I wish we had printed some out, because I'm sorry I took up the cardstock.
Well,
it'd be really fun to see how those look.
I'm glad you said that, Leo.
What?
Because we do have a couple of them. Chad's car, for example.
Oh.
It's got a little mustache on front, like the Lyft vehicles, and some eyes.
You know what? Kids would love this.
Isn't this great?
Yeah.
I actually think, some of you might be like, what am I going to do with this? Your kids would love this.
How hard was that to cut out and make work?
Not hard
Not too
at
bad?
all. No, it's really, really easy because you can kind of
the
see,
dotted lines.
you have a little dotted lines,
Yeah.
and so you just sort of basically fold
That's
and
awesome.
it makes itself.
What else
now,
did you do?
Here's a little custom, and this is actually on the more substantial sort of
I think
sort of
kids would
cardboard.
adore this. What a great project.
Isn't that cute?
And it gets them kind of off of the computer and into doing something physical.
Well,
so
you
it's
do.
a nice.
Yeah, you're creating something on the iPad that then you can hold and, like, look at this, look at what I did.
So
type of
these
a
are
thing.
both made from the starting points that they provided. But could you do something just completely?
This was from scratch.
That's completely from scratch.
This is completely from scratch. Yeah, because what you do is like, okay, so here's some stuff. Like some of these are templates. I mean, the car that Chad
Right.
printed out came from the
a
template.
right.
But what if I was just like, okay, I'm
cool.
gonna start like this is just gonna be my skyscraper.
I could
mean,
see
that
a
could be
kid
anything.
making houses,
Oh, yeah.
buildings, just characters, and building a whole town out of
Sure.
this.
I mean, if I'm like, let's add some leaves. It's kind of fun too because you can see in the
Wow.
3D image, like if you put it just
man.
so.
This would have been
then
so
it-
fun to do with my kids when they were little. This is great.
Isn't that neat?
I love this.
I'm so glad you like it. Foldifyapp.com is where you can find out more about it. It is $2.99 for $3. Your kid's going to be creating
Fun.
stuff. Very, very crafty stuff.
Now,
Like I said, it's like so good for a rainy day.
This one's done just with paper, so you don't have to use cardstock.
No, this is just, it's going to hold up a little bit better. That's somewhat flimsy, but it works just fine.
No, so
Yeah.
you don't need special paper. A color
No.
printer would be nice, but also not required.
Right.
When it's cardstock, it's more. Yeah, it's more substantial.
Yeah. It's kind
That's
of fun.
cool. That is-
Or think about like for like a birthday party, like cute little party favors.
That could be a present. I could give you your Christmas present in there.
You could.
Except it's way too big.
This.
Not the present, the box. The present's tiny.
The present is tiny. My
Yeah.
Christmas present.
It's invisible.
Oh, well. Can it be transferred via bank?
Sure.
Somebody earlier in chat, when I made a mention of the Christmas bonus, they said Sarah is really out of line right now.
No, she's not.
Sarah's kidding.
No,
Gosh.
she's not. She's very grateful.
I would do the show for free.
No, she wouldn't. Don't
That's-
even think she would. Not even close. Would she? No, you have to eat.
I
You
have
gotta
to-
pay.
I
You
have
gotta
to
pay
eat.
rent. You gotta buy hummus.
Oh God, there's so much rent to pay. Oh my gosh, the San Francisco market is not cool.
I bet my rent's higher than your rent.
Well, you have a bigger house.
Yeah, I have a giant house.
So
I have a mansion
Well,
and a
maybe-
yacht.
Well, then you're paying more because
Never buy a yacht, kids. Always rent it. My tip of the day. That's
Yeah.
almost as good as an app cap. So I had two choices. I could show Pudding Monsters, but I showed that last week. And today's the day the Oscar nominations were announced. And coincidentally, the official Oscars app came out as well. So
what a quinky dink that is.
isn't that amazing? How did they know? So this is going to be interesting. Seth MacFarlane is hosting the Oscars.
Yes.
The Family Guy guy.
That's right.
Wow, that's brave of them.
Well, it seems almost
He had a
strange.
movie, Ted. Anyway,
I guess that's true.
Yeah. So these are pictures, obviously, from last year's, the 84th annual Oscars. But that's a fun way to start. Little red carpet stuff. The nominations are here, but also some trivia and interesting things. Here's now. Notice this is is this ridiculously scant. This is basically an article from the website that the thing is pulling up of the nominees. But there's some fun stuff, too. Did you know, for instance, that Cate Blanchett was the first actress to win an Oscar for playing an Academy Award winner?
For
Katharine Hepburn in 2004.
Oh, in The Aviator.
Right, she won an
That's
Oscar.
cool.
So I know you like the Golden Globes, but I'm excited about the Oscars. I look forward to this every year. And one of the things I like to do is go see. Now we have the Oscars are 45 days away. The application told me this. So I know that we have 45 days to catch up on any of the movies we didn't see. And I didn't see a lot of these. They nominate so many movies now. Amour, Argo, Beast of the Southern Wild. I did see Django Unchained, loved it. Les Miserables, Life of Pi. Lincoln I saw, loved it. Zero Dark 30 just coming out now. Apparently one of the best movies of the year. I want to see Silver Linings Playbook. That's just come out.
Nobody watched that. I didn't.
It's in the theaters right now. It's brand new. That's why.
No, it's not that brand new.
Oh, well, it's in our theater.
But because it was part of my movie draft, and it wasn't one of the movies that I picked. It wasn't one of my movies, but it.
Well, who would have
bombed.
thought?
It did not do well.
Well,
but obviously.
The reviews are through the roof, and the Oscar voters nominated for Best Picture.
Well, that Bradley Cooper's in it, and he is a hot
Guess who got
piece
nominated?
of actor.
Guess who got nominated for Best Actor in a Leading Role? Bradley Cooper.
And Joaquin Phoenix.
Daniel Day-Lewis. Hugh Jackman. And I thought The Master was great, and 2 nominations for The Master. So these are all the nominations. So if only it's free, if only for that, this is worth downloading. You know, first thing I do, I get up in the morning and today I go to the newspapers and online or Flipboard and try to figure out who got nominated. It wasn't easy. If I'd had the app, it would have been very easy. And they got big pictures. Here's a picture from Silver Linings Playbook of Cooper. What's his name? See,
Bradley
I just think of him
Cooper.
as the guy from Hangover.
So cute.
Is he that cute? It's the blue eyes you like. Yeah. Yeah. And the fact that he doesn't shave but every 4th day. That's...
I don't know what it is.
I don't know why the girls
but
like
I
that,
like him.
but they do like that. I don't
Yep.
know. That makes me feel like I should stop shaving.
You should.
You know, they have a special razor for that he uses.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No, he's just too cool to shave every day.
They have a special. No, I know it's not cool to think about this, but there's a special razor that just cuts a little bit, so that you always have a 2-day growth. Why?
Because
Why?
it's cool. I don't know. I don't know.
No, I'm
He's
not going to.
adorable.
He's adorable. Everybody loves him.
Adorable.
Denzel Washington for Flight. I'm glad he got nominated. I love Denzel.
I still haven't seen that.
Haven't either. I can tell you one thing: you won't see it on an airplane. So anyway, I don't know about you. I'm a movie buff. People often look at me and say, "Why do you like the Oscars? Why are you interested?" I don't know why. Why do you like the Golden Globes? Why is the sky blue? I don't know why.
It's just one of those things.
It's just one of those things.
Yeah,
I
love
like
it too. I love it. I am unapologetically into award show season,
So-
and we are getting right into it. Starts on
ABC's
Sunday.
official app. So I guess I have to watch. I don't ever watch the Golden Globes.
Golden Globes are actually kind of more fun because people are more, I don't know,
It's
relaxed.
silly because it's the foreign press, but it is kind of a preview of what might be.
What might be, exactly.
come. Yeah.
Well, that's good. So we got Foldify and we've got Oscars. So your kids can be printing out their little creations, their
Right.
3D creations, while you watch the Oscars.
It's fun
in just a
too
few
because
weeks.
with this you can kind of practice if you wanted to be like the Oscar announcer. So like Frankenweenie is nominated for animated feature film, and then when he's as you could say, this is the 2nd Academy Award nomination for Tim Burton. He was previously nominated for, and then you can so you can pretend to be an Oscar announcer.
Oh, fun.
Do you ever do that?
No, but I'm always playing in my Oscar pool. What?
Is it a deep pool?
It's just a little.
Is it heated?
It's just a little lap pool. No, I like to before the show. Me and whoever else is.
Are we good? We should do an Oscar pool this year. Yeah, let's do that.
We've been doing it every year. I never win, but
I come in last.
Well,
I am the
that
worst.
should tell you something.
Well, this year I'm going to go see, but no, it didn't help. Even if you see the movies, it's worse. It's better not to see the movies, and then you have a better chance of winning.
That's stupid. That's like
because I
saying,
say, oh, this was a great movie, and it doesn't win.
I don't.
Costume design, Les
don't
Miserables,
know.
right? Or Lincoln.
Or Hobbit.
Snow
what about
White.
Hobbit?
Hobbit's not nominated. Snow White or The Huntsman.
That dumb movie.
The Hobbit should be nominated for Best Beard Design.
All right. Well, maybe we'll save some of the cinema talk for next week.
We should do it. We'll probably do an all-Oscar show at some point.
Do you think so?
I think so.
I think you and I would love it. I don't know how much our audience would love it, but if you would like to see that, please let us know.
Well, there's the red carpet app. There's I don't know if the Oscars app is the one, but one
the
of the
glitz,
apps.
the glamour.
Oh yeah, this is it, the Oscars app. So now we have to wait till the showtime at 45 days, but I really like this one because you get to see the backstage cams.
Yeah,
That's
a good
fun.
one. That's a good
really
one too.
Fun, yeah.
Boy, Leo, you really are into it.
They
Okay.
even have look an Oscar pool.
Oh,
You
they
can
do.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so that's good.
Yeah, and you can view the trailer. So if you said Argo, I don't remember that. Oh, but you have to log into
Argo.
Facebook.
Oh,
Log into Facebook to save your ballot.
Argo was a very good movie.
Was it?
Oh my
See, I haven't
gosh.
seen these. I now have to go see all the movies because I want to see all the
Very
movies.
good. It's very good. That's it for this edition of iPad Today. This was fun, even sober. That's how you know you got something special. You can do it without drinking.
No, I love this show, and
I
it gives
do
me a
too.
chance to wear great, fabulous hats.
Fabulous hats, and you've never looked better. It's a really lovely felt look for you. I
turned it around,
also
and,
think I
and
look
Liz
really
is
nice
mad at
today.
me because I turned around the C.
Oh.
So I didn't show the Bears.
Duh, Bears.
This is my vote to bring back Lovey.
Bring him back. Thanks to everybody who watches each week. Remember, you can subscribe to the show. Visit us at twitch.tv/IPT. And until next time, we'll see you next week. Have a great one.